And now is you and Logan, are you guys like, do you guys songwrite together, or is this like the first time you're...
really. He's a lot younger than me. I think he's in high school. But he went to the same high school I did, Huntington High School.
Okay.
And so I've heard him around the area. Like I did the Huntington Homestead Festival, the Huntington Catfish Festival. And I would see him at similar events. And I was like, this guy has a great 90s country's voice.
Yeah.
And that's the music I sing. I love old country. That's why I like Zach Top so much.
Yeah.
Cole Goodwin, Mae Estes.
Yeah.
All the old stuff. Emily Ann Roberts, Jake Worthington.
Yeah.
All the old sounds, which I like some of the newer stuff. Hudson Westbrook, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I like the old stuff. And that's what Logan sounds like.
Oh, nice. Yeah. So. It took me a while to warm up to Jake Worthington's music, because when I first started doing the podcast here in Texas and started like ingratiating the Texas country sound, a lot of people were sending me music, and I was just like, I don't know, I don't really know if I like this like 90s country sound, like, because I didn't grow up on 90s country. I lived in Chicago. Closest thing we had to country was the Dixie Chicks.
Okay.
And Tim McGraw. But honestly, I think Tim McGraw is more of a pop star than he is a country star, but that's just me.
Okay.
But, so those were the only two real country things. And so I didn't grow up on like the 90s country. So when people are like, oh, you got to listen to this or listen to that, and it's like...
That's what I grew up on. And I'm also like a grandma at heart. I collect spongeware. I have a record collection of all 90s country. Like in my room, it's huge. I don't know if you clocked the
semi-growing record collection sitting behind you, but
I did not.
Yeah, it's
cool.
I got into that. I got into collecting records when I moved here. Like, I mean, I started a little bit when I was living in Florida, but like. It bit me when I'm here, and I'm like, so now when I do more like indie music, so like when I go out to a show and somebody's like, hey, buy my music, and they got vinyl, it's like, oh, I know this is gonna cost me $50, but
it's expensive.
Yeah,
but also like Loretta Lynn, Dolly Parton, that old stuff.
Yeah,
I could eat it up.
It's it's a unique sound, and I love it, and like having over the last 3 years of like diving into it and just kind of like growing appreciation for some of the older artists, and like getting to listen to like the Charlie Daniels Band, or Willie Nelson, or just whoever it is, and it's like, dang, I can't believe I've gone almost 40 years not hearing or
have you
30.
heard Rhonda Vincent?
I know who she is. I couldn't name, like, I've seen the name, but I'm not familiar.
So also love Bluegrass.
Okay.
So, because my grandpas both played Bluegrass before my time. They used to invite people over every night. They would circle up. Had that. My Mimi played the fiddle. Nice. Grandpa's played the guitar. It was, I wish I could be there. But Rhonda Vincent, she's all into Bluegrass. They call her the Queen of Bluegrass. She's amazing. Zach Top was into Bluegrass. So I think a lot of like the country that I like stems from like the Bluegrass.
Yeah. So when we first started doing Live and Amplified, we'd go down every year to a Bluegrass festival in the Florida Keys. And that was kind of our crash course into Bluegrass. Like when we first reached out to the festival, we didn't realize that it was like a Bluegrass festival. Because my dad was like, oh, there's this festival that happens in January every year. You got to go to it. And I'm like, okay. I call the promoter. He's like, come on down, whatever. And then it's like, oh, this is Bluegrass. Jeff's my business partner. It's like, I think we need to listen to Bluegrass all the way to Florida. That's driving Roswell, New Mexico to the Florida Keys. And I'm like, we've got about 20 hours to figure out what's what about Bluegrass.